Previously on Genshin Impact.
Come on, Navia! You can make it! That dress is extremely heavy for you, bro. Oh no! Grab her hand! Come on, you got this! Oh no. No.
Enough with the whispering! Could someone please tell me where Monsieur Nuevillette is? And why I'm standing trial?
Fair and honorable court shall declare you guilty.
Wait.
And you shall stay here. You will be together with us forever.
This isn't right!
He's guilty!
Have you forgotten how much you all once longed to become individuals? To become independent?
Do you mean to defy our justice?
Do not resist. This judgment is fair and just.
What the-
Navia belongs to us.
Jealous of her.
She belongs to us.
Miss Navia, she... Silence.
What?
Come on now, demoiselle. This is your only chance to leave this place. What, can't bear to leave us behind or something?
Malus.
My apologies. I couldn't resist making one little joke once I realized that this shall be our last goodbye.
No, wait! Just a second!
Hey everybody, my name is Furina Verdict and welcome back to Genshin for part 2 of the Masquerade of the Guilty. Why my camera zoom out? Also, I decided to switch characters and tweak the difficulty a bit just to make you've already seen my fight.
No, another unstable
What the-
path. Watch your step.
Come on, Navia, you can make it, you can make it. Alright, last time we did this video, Navia fell into the apartment with water, and she went through some sort of trial for preventing her. Some Oceanists hold her on trial to get them to join their Oceanic collective, or whatever, melding of the minds, I guess. We see our two main boys, Loose and Silver. Come on. And, oh, even the boards are falling apart. Are we gonna have to Nathan Drake this level? Yeah, it looks like we're gonna Nathan Drake this whole level here. Where was I? So she managed to get her out of there, and we got joined in by Monsieur Nuevillette here. And okay, 3 big boys and falling rocks. That's not the only rock we got. That's not the only rock we have here. I wonder if I could get them near me. I hate you, you gents. All right, come here. Come on.
Where'd that come from?
Oh yeah. All right.
Coming at ya! Coming at ya!
So much easier with Navia and
Shine down!
All right. And I want to test out Rider Shogun with this thing. All right. Again. All right, come on. We got Nathan Drake's spirit on our side. Come on.
It seems we're almost at the top. Keep it up.
All right. Oh boy. 2 rogues and a damn.
There is no escape! Ha! Torn to oblivion! Watch out!
Oi, oi, oi.
That's the way!
Let's go.
Coming at ya!
Okay, we're one of you least. I'm here.
Coming at ya! Final warning! Hands where I can see 'em! Illusion shattered.
Oh.
Watch out! Hey there!
Alright. I love Davia as a character. Alright, what's this? What are these ruins anyway? Do see a way out right there. Genshin never fails to amaze me with world building.
Looks like we've reached the end.
This is the place. There should not be any other hidden spaces in the vicinity.
The path sure had some twists and turns, but it turns out that this place isn't actually that big.
You say that, but didn't you see the holes? The tunnel? Alright, what's on the wall then? A tapestry.
Stone slates.
Stone slates.
It seems like they were put here as an offering. Could we take them down and have a look?
Perhaps
Wait
we
a
should
minute.
just leave them be for now.
Wait, one of them had Furina's appearance on it.
There are 4 locations in total, but only 3 stone slates. The slate that should be in the first empty spot is missing.
Mm-hmm.
The surrounding walls also show signs of damage.
There's something written below. Let Paimon see. Reason dictates that this nation be destroyed. I shall record the history of its future here in its past. Say what?
It feels like someone left these slates and these words here for a purpose. But does he mean that Fontaine should be destroyed?
You mean say he or they? God, sounds like a prophecy to me.
That would fit the circumstances dictated by the prophecy, yes. Indeed, the slate's contents correspond to it. Take the second slate, for example.
There's a person kneeling here. She seems so dedicated. And there's a whole bunch of other people behind her doing the same. She's facing this... what is this? Some kind of island in the sky?
And is that Lady Furina in the third image? Did the Hydro Archon fall into the water?
And is that a ring of people around her? Paimon doesn't quite get it. Are they all in the water?
The fourth image. I know this one. This exactly matches the content of the prophecy.
The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne.
They do kind of match. Let me guess, Nuevillette's gonna tap into the meaning. Because I'm suspected what he is.
More information should be hidden in these slates, but I fear I cannot easily uncover it, most likely due to us missing the first slate. I am very sorry.
Don't blame yourself, Monsieur Nuevillette. Deciphering ancient stone slates isn't one of your duties.
Ooh, Paimon's getting the
But it's gonna be
chills
his.
looking at these slates. This says that it's the history of the future, right? That means the prophecy's sure to come true.
I really hope it doesn't mean that.
You have no idea how wrong you might be.
Hell, Paimon feels like these images are kind of weird when you look at them together.
Oh, so. I get what you mean, Paimon. The issue is the order of the third and fourth images, right?
That's right! If the images are in chronological order, shouldn't the fourth, the waters drowning Fontaine, come before the third, where the Hydro Archon herself falls into the water?
And yet the order is reversed here.
The second image is also quite concerning. What sin are the people in the images confessing to?
If we go by timing, Lady Furina only emerges in the third image. That means that the person in the second image might be the previous Hydro Archon.
Egeria, then. I had never met her, but her appearance here does match the records. The previous Archon kneeling before the floating island in the skies, as if confessing a sin.
Did she herself commit that sin? And if not, why would she be in such a posture? Also, I'm still wondering why these ancient stone slates are here at all. Judging from their contents, could this place be the origin of the prophecy? Does that mean that someone, or some people, once saw these slates?
But who would have created these slates and left these words here?
It seems that any further clues will have to come from Furina.
And I have a feeling that she may not tell us everything.
In that case, there's no time to lose. There's nothing else to be gained here, so let's head back first.
Yeah, we better get somewhere safe for now.
Honestly, who created the slates doesn't matter now. The real question is whether things will truly play out as the prophecy foretells or not.
Let's split up here. I'm going to check on what's happening with the Spina. You know how it is. There's some things you just need to be there for yourself.
You still have energy for that, Navia? Paimon's already beat.
Now,
Just head back to the Fluvsandra and have a rest then. Thanks for keeping me company all this time.
I'll depart as well. Thanks for your hard work today. Rest well, everyone. Traveler, I will go talk to Furina tomorrow morning to ask about the stone slates. I'm sure that you're concerned about this matter as well. If you have time, drop by my office.
turn off that phone.
I will share the results of our discussion with you.
See you tomorrow
Are
then.
you really gonna talk to her about this directly? Will that be a problem? Paimon's getting a little scared now that it's come to this.
She has long been harboring secrets and will not give them up easily, which makes it all the more my duty to ensure that she understands the present situation.
Alright, we'll leave it in your hands then. You're probably the best person to talk to her anyway.
I will be carefully considering my words tonight.
Traveler, Paimon, our safe house at the Fluvsandra is always open to you as ever. So please don't think you're an imposition. All right. I'll be on my way then.
Yeah. Oh. It just transcends like that.
We're finally back!
Yep.
Welcome back.
Back in the sewers.
We've got a special menu prepared for you two tonight.
Really?
Yay! And there's good food too! Navi, no, the boss is the best.
You did great as well, Paimon. Yeah, we deserve some grub.
Ooh, dessert.
Garlic bread.
Nice, these are all Paimon's.
Somehow these look so damn good, delicious.
Paimon's already starting to forget what happened today.
And do I see somebody familiar right there? It's Mona.
Oh, that voice. Is that who I think it is?
The arrogant tone and tsundere and the tsundere energy. Is that who I think it is?
Huh?
Yep.
It's
It's Mona.
you two. What are you doing in Fontaine?
What are you doing here? I mean, I know you're trying to find cheap food, but dying in the sewers, it's kind of low.
Mona?
Did the stars not tell you that we might be here?
Seriously, nobody just uses a scryglass whenever they've got time to just see who they'll meet on the road.
Still, we didn't expect to see you here. Wait, you're not a Fontainian, are you, Mona?
She's in.
Well, I have some business to attend to here, so I booked a hotel in the city. I was just out for a stroll when I bumped into you. Quite unexpectedly, if I might add.
I'm just gonna guess you just waited here.
Why did you think I was from Fontaine, though? Is that because Magistus doesn't sound much like a Mondstatter surname?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Paimon's reasoning.
Well, I used to
Ridiculous.
have my own surname, which was, well, some other thing. Either way, the old hag told me when she took me as her disciple that the first step to being a great astrologist's pupil was to change that name. There was nothing for it, really. She really is amazing at astrology, so I changed my name to what it is now according to her wishes. To my surprise, however, Magistus is not the name of some ancient house or clan.
It isn't?
It's made up.
Nope. Although it is used by us in place of surnames, it generally just means great.
Yeah.
Wow! Imagine including a boast in your name. Are you gonna have to put that into your genealogy as well?
I reckon so.
Oh boy.
In any case, I'd give my disciple a name like this as well, if I were to take one.
And may I ask what your master name is?
Astromancer Barbeloth Trismegistus.
I will never pronounce that.
Whoa, that's a long one. Does it also mean great or something?
My name means Mona the Great Astrologist. As for the old hag, hers is, in plain speech, the thrice as great scholar of the stars. Just take it as a title specific to astrologists.
Thrice as great? That's so
Patty.
petty.
Yeah. I have to agree with Paimon here.
I know, right? That's just how she is. She used to call herself Magistus, actually, but when she took me in, she changed her name to Trismegistus.
Talk about excessive.
Yeesh.
Magistus is thus the calling card of our school, so to speak, which makes it about the same as a surname. It's all right if you don't get it. You can look into it further should you need to study astrology more deeply.
How about triple strength traveler or triple appetite Paimon?
Terrible!
You have the endless void, the endless pit, the endless stomach pit of Paimon. I will say
But
that.
anyway, you're not Fontanian, are you, Mona? You're from Mondstadt, right?
Well, I was born in Mondstadt, yes. My parents migrated to Dorman Port, and I traveled with the old hag for a while, after which I settled down in Mondstadt City.
Oh, that's a good thing then. At least we know you won't be dissolved by Fontaine's waters.
Speaking of that, I'm sure you're aware that a bunch of things have happened here in Fontaine, right? I know you're not a local, but I'd avoid getting too close to any water that looks strange all the same.
I mean, we've already tested those waters already, and finds out that only
There's
Fontanians
something
dissolve.
ominous about it. Well, the water, I mean.
I mean, it looks abyssal to me. Did you come to Fontaine because of the prophecy, Mona?
That was the main reason,
Sorry.
yes. Just a while back, the Steambird invited me to take part in a panel and speak about the circulation of the prophecy as an astrologist.
Wow.
The invitation was sent quite early on. I don't think anyone expected Fontaine to be in this much trouble.
What do you make of that prophecy, Mona? Just tell us what you think as an astrologist. Your word would go a long way to make things more certain and less scary.
What I can tell you is that I'm an astrologist, and that this prophecy concerns the fate of Fontaine, even that of Ultivat. Ascertaining this is akin to reading the fortune of the whole world. I'm afraid that this is not something that just anyone can do. If I could do it, you would no longer call me an astrologist, but a visionary.
Or seer. But then again, we can't sugarcoat this.
But on the flip side, the prophecy is so huge and powerful that it must surely come from a powerful visionary. Its contents involve the fate of the world. Disregarding it would be a mistake.
A visionary? Sounds really powerful and all, but does such a person really exist?
Of course. The old hag could do it, and I'd bet there are others amongst those Hexenzirkel colleagues of hers who could do something similar.
I need to ascertain the accuracy of the prophecy. Could you help me get in touch with your master?
Huh? Are you sure? All right, I'll help you. It isn't often that I see you with such a serious look on your face. I'll tell you once I hear back from her.
Thanks, Mona. You're amazing as always.
Oh, well, this is something only I can do after all. So yes, your praises are quite welcome.
That's the greatest of astrologists for you. Of all the people we know, you know the star's the best.
Are all astrologists this arrogant?
Indeed. That's the spirit.
Oh, sorry. I came to see what all the commotion was about. If there's anything you need, do not hesitate to inform the Spina di Rosula.
Oh, whoops. Guess we were getting a little too carried away there. Well, I'll go tend to my own business now. If I receive any news, I'll be sure to come find you two again.
And there she goes, quick as rushing water. And here we are with the Spina guy giving us suspicious looks.
Try to keep it down next time, Paimon.
If Paimon hadn't spoken for you, it'd be you getting all the weird looks. The things Paimon does for you.
Alright, thanks, Paimon.
That's more like it.
Alright, after the conversation, you decide to get a good night's sleep and to replenish your energy.
Good morning. To be honest, I'm still feeling kind of sleepy.
So am I.
But it's time to get up, traveler. We agreed to go see Nuevillette, so let's pack it up and get going.
You're here, finally.
She sounds stressed.
Is something wrong?
Monsieur Nuevillette and Lady Furina, they seem to have gotten into a dispute. Please go see for yourself.
I believe it was only a matter of time. Oh boy. Oh, let me move this out of the way.
Like I said, I've already explained everything.
Clearly you do not.
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please, tell me where you stand. You are the Hydro Archon Focolar, are you not?
Something tells me there's more to it than she is letting on.
Look at this. This is a list of the victims from the recent Poisson incident.
Gotta bring up the Poisson, ain't it?
You mean they're all...
Oh no.
We did
All
not arrive in
traumatized,
time
baby.
to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen again.
Lay down the law, Nuevillette.
I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near Poisson. Do you know anything about those?
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. I don't know anything about that.
At this point, it might be a trial.
But you found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
That's correct, which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4 slates, but one of them was missing. The other 3 featured different images that seemed to correlate to the prophecy.
The prophecy?
And not to mention, 2 of those images have you in it.
The second of these slates depicts the previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you know nothing of this either?
I don't. I've never seen such slates.
I'll ask you again. Do you really have no information regarding the previous Archon? My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a certain sin. If anyone would know about it, it should be you.
It has to make sense because she proclaims herself as an Archon. Technicality.
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. Is it really so strange that I know nothing? I understand your concerns, but I'm sorry. I just don't have anything to tell you.
I don't believe that. And you can already tell that he's already pissed off already. He knows that she's lying.
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Furina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations into certain matters. There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy on the sly. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But it is strange that you should also claim to not know any of Egeria's secrets, as well as do nothing following your inquiries.
I'm not even sure if any Archon's supposed to know the previous Archon's secrets or anything really to pertain to other previous Archon's memories. Not too sure. But then again, I don't see anything or any evidence to disapprove or not disapprove. What was the word? Indicate that Furina is an Archon. Because one, she may act like she's an Archon, but she don't display power. She only flaunts her popularity, her charisma, but not a single, like she tries to back away from fights, but rather put them on court cases or trials. And I'm just testing out the mic's range here so it could pick up anything really. I do apologize if it's like distant or anything.
You have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be, nor are you a fool. And yet, your behavior is very inconsistent.
Like I said, the way she's been acting throughout the whole quest I've been through, She don't act like an Archon, and yet she's pretending. She is putting up an act of an Archon, but is she an Archon or not? There's right there.
So you've been watching me all this time, have you? I didn't think you were that type.
There's the act. There's this right here. She's trying to, like, push away the topic by just proclaiming, laughing right there. I think.
You.
Well, since you know about my secret investigations, then you should know I'm actually working to take care of it.
Like I said, she's trying to stride away from the topic. Like, she's got something to hide, but she's telling little truths, but not the entirety
There's no
of
point
truths.
questioning or suspecting me.
There it is.
You're the Unix, but you're still my subordinate. You should be following my lead. Just trust in me. You're Archon, and do as I say. Never mind whether you can truly convince yourself to or not. It'll all turn out fine.
And the downward look, saying that it's not true.
That's
It ain't gonna
all
be
I
fine.
have to say. We do not discuss this matter again. Oh, the opera's about to start. Toodles!
I feel for you, man. Then she runs.
Did Furina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her.
She seems deeply
She's
troubled.
smiling. Huh. She didn't seem in the mood to care if we were listening in or not.
She seems deeply troubled. She seems to be deliberately hiding something. That's where I'm going to conclude right here.
I assume you've been outside for a while now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you noticed. Seems Furina didn't even realize we were here.
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses time and again, a state of affairs that we cannot allow to continue. Still, I do not understand. Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so why did she keep refusing to engage?
I'm afraid questions alone might not be suffice. We need to make her understand how dire the situation actually is.
Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. The issue is her attitude. I fear that she will not reveal anything unless absolutely forced to.
And I get the feeling that we might find out later on in this quest.
We may have to create a situation in which she will have no choice but to speak.
Oh? Like what?
Why, are we going to corner her?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the Hydro Archon experience just such a scenario.
Wait, so are we going to actually accuse her?
Furina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions.
Oh yeah,
How to
definitely.
make sure that she won't just slip away at the first chance she gets.
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties, and then do what we can. If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must prevent the prophecy from coming to pass. This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too precious, and so we must take a chance on this.
And don't worry, my man. We got your back.
But who will lend us their aid to do such a thing?
I think I already know who to call. On a boat somewhere in quiet Poisson.
That's everyone, huh? Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster.
Of course, we're gonna
so
involve
it's presently
Lenny.
devoid of people. That naturally makes it the best choice.
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in the world, huh?
That's what families should do. Sit and enjoy a leisurely time together.
So we got Lynette, Lenny, and Furina here.
It's
Of
nice
course.
to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for a cup?
Lend me your ears,
Yes, my
everyone.
girl here.
Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
You're choosing a quiet person to start this off.
Me? No, I don't think I can.
Let Paimon start it off.
Then
She's good at
how about
talking.
you, good sir?
Carsy's
I
here.
fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as it is in court.
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things. Wonderful, the spotlight at last. I guess I'll be facilitating things from here.
She's always the one that brings the bright mood.
That was a little long-winded, don't you think?
Of course, as the girlfriend.
You might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase,
Best friends.
our friend here, the Traveler, has brought us together to discuss something. As for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together to create a series of traps.
Oh?
Oops.
How intriguing.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand. And used on the spot. So, let's invite her to explain in detail. A round of applause, please.
Huh? Didn't you say that you would be facilitating this?
Hey, come on, support your quote girlfriend.
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice. You might even pick up some fancy oratory tricks to impress your boss with in the future.
I know.
I see. And what does my boss say?
He is glad that you consider him your boss. Do go on.
Go on, Clarence, support your girlfriend here.
In that case, do any of you have experience hunting?
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette, oh, right. You were sick that day, weren't you?
I've also gone diving to catch some fish before. Does that count?
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to a group known as the Marechaussee Hunters. Though that was their name, they did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of King Remus.
King Remus?
Today,
Who dat?
Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society, taking up arms in other lines of work. They even left a unique methodology of hunting in their wake. A trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger, and a containment device. Sometimes a lethal implement will also be necessary to deal with the prey. So, if we were to build a trap together, right now, what would you choose to build it with?
For me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Pigeons and rabbits will see the bait and naturally enter the snare. Our line of work requires a deft hand, and we're some of the best in the industry, so you can count on our techniques.
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the bawling children.
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime. I'm quite the multitasker if I do say so myself.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods, like placing bait in the water and waiting for the fish to come within reach. That's the kind of method I would count on.
Calm and steady. Exactly the kind of person who would catch loads of fish.
Oh, trust me, I got most patience when trying to catch fish. How did you expect me to get the catch?
And I can be their assistant.
With discretion, I'm sure.
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels, mice, and such. When placed in the forest, they can attract others of their kind. I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it. If they're realistic enough, animals of the same kind will follow them all the way to the trap.
What about you, Monsieur Nuevillette?
I fear I do not have any related experience.
He's a hydro dragon. He just hunts.
That makes sense. You usually solve problems directly, without the use of any such tricks. But I do have one more question for you, Monsieur. If we were to create a trap now, how would you design it?
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey. A more gentle trap would be ideal.
Kind, as always. However, our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment device and the type of implement we need. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey that must be captured and safely contained.
Wait, why's that?
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it. The line that divides life and death is often exceedingly thin.
I question, is Cloren in a family line of meretrices hunters? I hope I said it right. I can't pronounce things right.
So, are we going hunting together?
Yes.
Huh. We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters. It kinda works, but maybe it's still not the best metaphor.
No.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, then the hunting metaphor is actually quite accurate.
Then again, point taken.
But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god, a being whose seat is an exalted throne.
That's right.
Oh, so that's what's going on. Sounds very interesting.
Glad he caught on. Cloren's hunting metaphor was just a metaphor. You will not call this a hunt because that is not what you should do at present. Nor has the relationship between you and Furina reached such a dire stage. What you need is simply the secrets she is keeping. Attempting to take her secrets is an act of sacrilegious disrespect, but must be done to prevent Fontaine from sinking into the waters as foretold in the prophecy. There is neither hunter nor prey, but there must be a trap. That is what you will need.
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? So much has been happening.
Well, it sure did make me hungry, and I'm actually hungry.
Paimon didn't think the meetings would go on for so long, but everyone seemed pretty fired up, huh? Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but everyone else just looked a little surprised.
No, I think it's just quiet, nervous. Do you feel more confident after the meetings, Paimon?
Well, it's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience with this sort of thing. But with you around, Paimon sure will do great. After all, you're the most reliable person in the world, aren't you? Huh?
Is something wrong?
Did you just pour some tea? Paimon didn't notice you doing that at all.
No, I did not.
Then what's that?
It's a magical teacup.
Paimon's never seen that cup before.
But I bet everyone who played Genshin's events long before I did would know what this is.
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea. I merely refrained from saying anything till now.
Who's that voice? But there's no one here.
Ah, have you forgotten me already?
I haven't even met you.
Wait, you are familiar. You're the voice we heard from the sky in Sumeru.
Oh, yeah. I did hear that voice when I did the Sumeru quests.
The voice from the sky, I fear that description is wrong. Though, not completely wrong. You're feeling lost now, just as you were feeling previously. I sensed that confusion and thus came to you. Guiding people is an irresistible hobby of mine, after all.
I really needed to get back into the Genshin lore.
Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friend's disciple on a whim.
Allow me to ask you, will Fontaine's prophecy come true?
The prophecy. Yes,
The Mage
what has been
N?
prophesized will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
Mage N. Huh.
What? Then is there any way we can stop it?
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything in Teyvat so easily be changed?
There it is, again. Fate. Can there really be no exceptions?
Ah, so you've caught on. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods. Could things be happening in hidden corners where the god's gaze does not fall? Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods perceive?
What is she talking about? It all sounds really impressive and important and stuff, but it also sounds kind of scary.
The tea in the teacup is just about gone as well.
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant, but others you must reach out to change. Ultimately, Fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do is to play your part. This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality. Well, that'll be all for today.
The voice. It's gone.
And there she goes. Mage N, is this the clue you're leaving for us? The unexpected news leads to complicated... I can't even read that. When you wake up, someone seems to be outside.
What? I want to hear someone talking.
Did we just get drunk?
Alright, coming!
Oh, we were just sleeping. You're getting more diligent, Paimon.
Hey, it's you who's getting lazy, okay?
Well, I see I've walked in on some
There she
lively
is.
banter.
How have you been these past few days?
Fine, just fine. I went to take part in that Steambird panel. It turned out to be more interesting than I expected. Not all Fontainians are pessimistic about this. One journalist mentioned that sitting around and waiting for the inn to come would be wrong, and that they should make their own rescue preparations. I agreed, so we had a brief chat with her.
I see you met Charlotte.
Did she have pink hair by any chance?
Why, yes, it was Charlotte. I assume
I
you've
knew
heard
it.
of her, no? That daredevil journalist? I'm in full support of her view. Prophecies are very important, but how can people allow their lives to be commandeered by just a few words?
That's right! Paimon's glad to hear something sensible for once.
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't reach the old hag. I'll try again tonight, but I wouldn't get your hopes up.
And someone already came over.
Huh?
Yep.
Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
I believe she came to pass a message.
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty bold if you ask Paimon. Most people would believe the gods to be all-knowing, right?
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag has mentioned her a few times. She said that N's sense of direction is incredible, and that she loves guiding those who are lost. But I've never met her, and if she were still alive, she'd be... well, suffice it to say that the hag's at least a few hundred now, and N's been around for longer than that.
Whoa. The Hexen Circle sounds like a scary group. But they must really stay in shape to live so long.
Yeah.
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying. If she came to see you personally, then the problem you're facing must truly be of great importance.
One praise that we might see the Hexen Circle.
Well, it's not like Paimon could understand anything she said.
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but I suspect she means that there is still a way to turn things around. She didn't say when or what that would be, though, so perhaps it is something that you cannot know right now.
True, her words were meant as a helpful hint, but when will we realize their value in meeting? Was that the best answer that my question could have gotten?
Traveler, Paimon, are you two all right?
Oh, we're fine. We're just a little down right now. It kind of feels like the end is coming, you know?
I see. I feel that same sense of desperation, too. I guess you could consider me someone who has often witnessed fate. So far as I have seen, it cannot be swayed. But even so,
I see thief.
I still hope for and believe in miracles. Astrology is eternal and rational, but fate may not be. It is cruel, but it can also be beautiful. Perhaps that's what N was trying to tell you. Not to lose heart, and to believe that what you are seeing playing out before you is not yet set in stone. I did originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't. Even if this is all futile, I still wish to help everyone. If we don't struggle to the last, then how can we face the end when it comes?
Huh. You do have a point.
There I go, talking about astrological principles again. Sorry about that. The moment I start talking about work-related stuff... I need to get going.
That's no problem, Mona.
It was worth trying to comfort you, even if only a little. I believe that you'll help those who are struggling in the same way I did. I suppose that might be why we always seem to meet by coincidence.
Paimon feels kinda moved by what Mona said, but also kinda sad too. Hey, Traveler, Paimon suddenly feels like going outside for a walk. Let's go.
I wonder if I feel like it's gonna take long.
Shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by. Huh? Our names are written in this newspaper. What's going on?
We might be famous, Paimon.
Let Paimon see! The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued in its noble autonomy. But that does not mean that others cannot interact with it. My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Guess Charlotte still hasn't given up on that.
She was trying to break in.
Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report. A blonde adventurer with their white fairy legends trailing in their wake. It is said that this mysterious traveler once visited the underwater fortress. So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not fear, for the tales of the traveler contain surprises in journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet, the Traveler's Trail, World Walker. Huh. Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us and we never even noticed her.
She is quite sneaky.
She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find, she's using us as the subject matter instead?
That seems to be the case.
Seriously? Well, fine. Those headlines and photos do look cool, so Paimon will forgive her this time.
How? If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon! Oh, have you seen the article I wrote about you?
Where? Oh, never mind. You already know.
Ha! You've got some nerve! You just used us to make some quick mora!
Can we just negotiate for a profit split?
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I heard that you were in Poisson some time back, so I sent you a letter to discuss just that. It appears you didn't receive it, though.
How are you supposed to receive a letter?
It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you. I've even set the table with some food.
Really? Oh, you're the best!
Didn't we just eat cake?
You're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon. If I were a journalist with ulterior motives, you'd be in trouble now, you know.
Oh, Paimon knows you're not like that.
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden? Were you looking for me?
A friend of ours met you a while back, and when she mentioned it, we thought of coming to see you. Her name's Mona.
Ah, so you know Miss Mona as well. She's a guest columnist for our paper. Really good one, too. She's so young and already such a brilliant astrologist. So she mentioned me? What did she say?
She said that you're a real daredevil of a journalist.
Nice. In which case, can this daredevil journalist dare to request an exclusive interview with the legendary Traveler and Paimon?
Huh? So your article in the paper today doesn't count?
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deeper and ask you to talk about the things you've seen and
Yeah, are we even qualified enough?
We're widely known already, so yeah.
Why not? If I say you're worth an interview, then you're worth it. But not right now, of course. I'll need a few days to prepare.
Oh, in that case, we'll just chat when you have the time then?
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief immediately. I'll have to apply for lighting, a venue, some props, and... Whew, so much to get done now. Talk to you later.
Interviews are
Charlotte,
quite a
I've
spectacle.
still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If, just for example, Fontaine were to be flooded tomorrow, what would you do today?
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? I mean, I do hear about it often, but I've never once thought that the day could be tomorrow. If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist first and foremost. That means I have a duty to be reporting from the scene. And secondly, I wouldn't forsake my homeland that easily. From what I've seen, most people don't know what they'd do should the worst come to pass. In truth, it might be better just to behave like normal rather than worry over such an end. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. I know what you're thinking. That sounds a bit sad, but I've always believed that it's best to do what you enjoy. Just think about it. If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but I still successfully finish an exclusive interview with a truly unique person. And the story I would wind up writing would truly be timeless.
That's quite an inspiration right there.
And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it for printing, and use messenger pigeons to get copies out to the various nations as soon as possible. I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic, but I do love my job. And I'd be proud of leaving such an article behind. I guess you could say that I was born to be a journalist. But anyway, that's my answer. And on that note, I'll get back to my preparations.
That's so nice. All of a sudden, Paimon actually kinda envies her. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we?
Okay, so what are we doing exactly?
The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh? Paimon's been thinking.
Yes?
If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow, where would we go and what would we do?
Head to the nightclub and get jiggy with it?
No, Paimon should ask, if you could choose, what would you like to do?
If I could choose, huh? It's just like Charlotte said. Suddenly, trying to consider what to do is pointless.
We've always been moving to the next destination, so we haven't spent much time thinking about these kinds of things. We didn't have to either, with us always being on the road and whatnot.
Until that moment comes, I think I'll just keep on journeying on.
You mean, still traveling?
Yes, cherishing every single moment that I have to look upon this world.
Huh. Wait, isn't that what we've always been doing?
The banter goes back and forth between the two of you as time slips by. As night falls, you return to your accommodations and end this busy day. The next few days are just as calm. Charlotte comes to find you and conducts an interview in the Spina de Rosula safe house at the Fleuve Centre. Who took that? Navi, having finished her business in Poisson, even drops by to take a photo with the two of you. All goes well.
Feels like you'll grow mold if you stay here long enough. But it's still better than the Fortress of Mirapede, that's for sure. It's not only damp there, but salty too.
Ah, so the two of you are still here. Wonderful.
Oh, you're from the Palais Mermonia, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nuevillette sent me to look for you two before. I heard that afterward you went to the Fortress of Mirapede.
So are you under the impression that we might be wanting criminals? Well, I mean, I am sure a smooth criminal, but Paimon's just a culinary criminal, eating everything.
Not at all. I'm well aware that you're friends of his. Actually, I'm here to pass along a message from him.
Let's hear it. Did something happen?
Yes, inside the Opera House. The Maréchaussée Phantom has declared the incident a small-scale riot.
Really?
A riot?
Oh boy.
Well, that said, I don't personally think it was that serious. Lady Furina was watching a performance at the Opera House, and while she was resting during an intermission, some other audience members suddenly started harassing her, loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis. And before she could respond, others started to join in. The crowd continued to grow, and protests against the Hydro Archon started to break out.
So people have started to put the blame on Furina. Guess they finally found an outlet for the pressure they've been under due to the prophecy.
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods, as is customary. But the moment people feel threatened, gods are also the first to be blamed.
So what happened after that? Is Furina okay?
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument was pointless, she claimed that she'd gotten tired of this and left in a hurry. The Maréchaussée Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Furina had gone. Only when things had stabilized did we realize that she had gone missing.
So, you mean she's still missing?
That's right. The Maréchaussée has dispatched many people to search for her. but we don't have any leads yet. That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god after all. Even if she were to fall into the hands of rioters, what could ordinary people do to her?
And that's where I'm afraid she might be wrong there.
Good.
I understand the situation, though.
Monsieur Nuevillette sent me to tell you about the situation, but he didn't say anything else.
Don't worry, this is more than enough to go on. Thanks for keeping us informed.
Is that so? Well, alright then. In that case, you two take care. I'll be heading back to the Palais now.
Why are you two smirking?
Well, sounds like we should
Why are
hurry
you two
over
so
to
smug?
Poisson then.
You sure cut on quickly.
If we know Furina, she won't try to fix things in this situation. Instead, she'll look for a place to wait out the heat. And, as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic, but she doesn't have a heart of stone.
Yeah, we've seen that in the argument with Nuevillette, that she is starting to break down.
When Nuevillette was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and she heard about Poisson, she couldn't hide her sadness and remorse. It would be hard for her to ignore being accused by the public today. Paimon thinks Furina's probably taken the opportunity to slip away to Poisson and try to relieve the sense of guilt that she's feeling. Huh. Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the analysis to back it up, too.
I see becoming a detective's done you some good.
In that case, there's not a moment to lose. Poisson, here we come!
Alrighty then.
This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation.
Yeah.
Could Furina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible.
I mean, if she did really conduct secret investigations here, and she has more concern about the prophecy than anyone else, then yeah, she is going to get concerned about the... Oh, there she is right here.
That's Furina, right over there. She really is here all on her own.
Shh, stay quiet for now.
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless. What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Give up, Furina. There's no point in holding out.
Oh, I could tell she's really on...
I'm sorry. But what can I even do? Other than to repeat meaningless apologies over and over.
That's alright, Furina. Just let it all out.
Who's that?
Don't worry, Furina. It's just us.
So it is you, blonde traveler from another land. Why, I almost thought you were someone from that mob of my ignorant subjects. Come to kneel and beg for my forgiveness.
She's going back to her defensive.
Furina, you were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
I just want to hug her.
What do you mean, tear stains? Oh, I remember. The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was so moving. I'm still trying to process it.
She's still going into that facade, even after we caught her red-handed, with her feelings just out and about. It's like the mask she's putting on.
Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were? Disturbing my enjoyment of the arts. They even dare to tout their Archon. I must teach them a lesson.
Yeah, what can you do?
I can just imagine their twisted and frustrated faces once they realize that I'm nowhere to be found.
Well, that's where you'd be wrong.
And I'm sure Nuevillette and those people from the Marish Dose Phantom are freaking out right next to them, too.
I can tell from the laugh. It's forced. Stop trying to act tough, Furina. You're actually beyond devastated right now, aren't you?
Of course not.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
What are you three gonna do?
Furina, those people seem to be after you.
They are... They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they haven't been able to meet me in person, aren't they? That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
And she runs.
Furina just ran off. Quick, we have to catch up with her.
Let's go! Protect her. I would protect her too. I mean... How can they lose her? It's a cave. Oh, never mind. Wait.
This should be the place, right? Hey, Furina!
Yeah, let's hide here.
Hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them catch up to you.
What is this place?
It's a house.
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way.
Yeah, wasn't there a... This wasn't there before, though.
Paimon's exhausted.
I definitely checked out the entirety of Poisson before the flooding incident, and there was definitely not a house like that there. Is this the trap they were talking about?
I'm so tired. I totally thought they had caught me.
Deep breaths.
I mean, I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they displayed.
This place is not what I call soundproof. You might want to lower your voice to stay hidden.
You're right.
Yep, that's
I love this voice actress. Why'd you say that, Paimon? Uh-oh.
What's happening? The ground's shaking. Is it an earthquake?
She's got the cute gestures. Another disaster that just struck, I suspect.
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's happening again.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Nuevillette's made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
Yeah, I hope you're right. But the people of Poisson, they've already...
As Furina finally reached her limit. Now that she's talking about her actual feelings, she's starting to look less stiff. I give her a hug. Really?
It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways, too, to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time.
Yeah, I just noticed that her eye colors are different, her irises are different.
We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled.
But even then, you still haven't given up, right?
Give up. I do love the sound of that phrase. It would mean finally coming to terms with fate, but also for me to finally be free.
It really sounds like she was suffering unbearably for how many years? 500? If the way she talks here. But that will also mean that all hope would disappear.
Indeed. I've thought about giving up so many times, especially after we almost lost Poisson. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no heart and obeys no rules. The prophecy has only just started to come true, and so many people have already lost their lives. But just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come to terms with fate on behalf of everyone else. As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too late. Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for everyone until the very end.
I can just tell she's just tired. Look at her.
Well, that's enough for now.
Then she
I
puts the
got
mask
the
on.
impulse to play the stricken maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, that wasn't a good fit at all. Don't take any of what I just said seriously. How could I possibly let Fontaine fall to the whims of trivial prophecy?
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest just now.
We're running out of time. We can't just go back to square one like this. I have to get more information out of her. Furina, you might not have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone, your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just share with me. I'm what you call a witness.
A witness? Yes. I've heard that you came to Teyvat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here. And if Teyvat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you? If that's the case...
There's no time left. Please, Furina, just spit it out. Ooh. Come on. I know you can really want to tell. Let me be your... What? What the hell? Wait, we're at the opera house? Of course, Lenny. Of course it's Lenny. You some bastard. we were almost there too. Oh well. Let's see till you begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
Let's see till you begin. Ha ha ha! Just kidding.
So, this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Focolar, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very concept of justice to trial?
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
Oh boy. Furina dueling against Clorend. Oh boy.
You would draw your blade against a god?
Yeah, you don't show any signs of ever fighting one. Oh, she ain't afraid.
I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Hands up.
Paimon can't believe it. She
surrendered.
She just surrendered.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Wow, how utterly humiliating.
Lady Furina, what is the meaning of this?
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No duel shall be necessary. I will admit that I've been running away for a long time. I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson.
Oh, come on.
It is my duty to stand trial for my crimes. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly disappointed in myself. But now, it is time for the Hydro Archon to show you her courage and resolve. I, Furina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice! This time, I will protect you. Applaud and rejoice! One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before your eyes. Mark my words, this shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine! The trial of the Hydro Archon, Focolar, will now begin!
Woohoo! Oh, now we're making history!
Why does it feel like Furina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
All right, then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that so? Very well. Then please speak, witness of Tivat, my accuser and fated opponent.
We were so close to getting her to tell us the truth. Oh, by the way, I just... Oh my god.
Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins. Just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
Yep.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates.
I knew it. It was like a joint effort, yeah.
They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members, waiting for the perfect opportunity to incite insurrection against you. The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. A spark was all we needed to turn smoldering anger into a flame.
An inferno.
Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson by yourself. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So,
I knew
you
it.
mean the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also from the Spina?
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontainian history.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the
I knew
super
it.
ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Arrhenius, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Furina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off.
It's funny how they're using an excavation machine just to build a house.
We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
Never mind, that damn machine was used to dig a tunnel.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Sorry about that. We deceived you back there.
Then, I can guess Nuevillette and Cloran's parts.
What were they?
You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist in all of Fontaine would accept a duel with an Archon without flinching.
Thank you.
As for you, Traveler, I suppose your role is to keep me distracted with conversation once you found me in Poisson. You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
No, you guessed wrong.
Oh?
My mission was to give you one last chance. We hoped that you share your secrets with us before the magic box arrived onto the stage.
Is that so? Then I suppose I must have missed my final chance. It's fine. It matters not. What's done is done. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the very end.
Yeah, the only thing we can do now is to judge the Hydro Archon. Still, I can't help but feel bothered by the conversation earlier.
Madam Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her, it should speed up the proceedings.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Hey, Charlotte!
Yeah, I saw her already.
Oh, let Paimon see. Isn't this the exclusive interview that she did with us before? So she's already finished it, huh?
Yep.
Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that's happened ever since we stepped foot in Fontaine!
Ah.
So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence for an argument! Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
Oh boy. Not another one.
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duel you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right. I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I'd been following all this time. I guess you could also see this as a happy coincidence. This is the first time Monsieur Nuevillette had a difference of opinion with the oratories. Even the Hydro Archon can't figure it out. But the Fatui Harbinger, she's an extraordinary person. Her instinct must mean something. The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed in a single day. That I didn't witness that scene personally will always be a source of professional regret, I think. According to Monsieur Nuevillette, both Child and that whale should have been in the primordial sea at that time. I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest, that still gives me shivers. The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly understood when something surreal happens to you.
Wow. Full commentary on everything I did.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Objection.
Oh, come on, Nuevillette. There's no need to repeat all the unimportant legalese. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. As the defendant and the lead actress of this performance, I still haven't even been informed of my supposed guilt in all of this.
So, is she guilty of not being an Archon at all?
Of course. It is only natural for humans to struggle to understand the actions of a god. However, you will need more than that to convict me of a crime.
That's true, but my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
I was just kidding.
Wait, what was that? Lady Furina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking her duty, but did I hear that right? She's not our Archon at all?
Charge accepted.
Immediately.
Lady Furina, do you plead guilty to the charge? Lady Furina.
I plead not guilty. How? There is no way that I, Focolar, otherwise known as Furina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your true Archon.
Yeah. Even though Lady Furina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far to doubt her very identity?
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure, Lady Furina can be super irresponsible, but what grounds does that prosecutor have to make such a huge claim?
The mad disrespect. Calling her irresponsible.
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There would be no fooling their memory. See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you sure you want to commit to a charge that will never be upheld?
Anyway, I just got back from eating my food. Sorry about that, guys.
If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the god of justice that you will not have to face trial for making a false accusation. We will treat everything that's happened as a dramatic spectacle and move on with our lives. What do you say to that?
She's not letting up.
Huh. An argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not only refute
The people only see you as their Archon.
but also overturn the long-held beliefs of the people.
Yeah, the people only see you as their Archon because they're long-held belief.
Well, I tried to give you the chance to surrender. If you must persist, then let me ask. If you believe I'm not the Archon, then what manner of being do you think I am? And if I was not the Archon, then how did I manage to live for over 500 years?
Okay. I just had to hurry back. Alright. Let's see. Why can Furina live so long despite being she's human? Okay, if I had to think of something, I think the meeting with the Knave.
First of all, member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess an extended lifespan. And second of all, even if that wasn't the case, there could be other ways to extend your life.
Wait, where's the mustache, Paimon? Such as a curse.
Who gave you that idea? Was it the Knave? You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against me.
It doesn't matter who gave us the information. What matters is the veracity of the claim.
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse. But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
Nuevillette sensed it too, huh?
So Furina, instead of an Archon, could you just be a cursed human?
Lady Furina is actually a human?
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by looking at them. It's not impossible.
No, because if you actually did the Dainsleif quests, right? And you did the one scene somewhere after Sumeru. You met with the person who founded the Abyss Order. Caliber. No wait, that's the son. Alberic. That's it, Alberic. And he talks about being cursed human as well.
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been carrying a curse like you said, how does that prove that I am merely a human being?
I mean, why don't you ask a Conrian person?
Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot. That's why they're worshipped as gods. For centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the nation of Fontaine.
Such as?
One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the endemitium that is used in every aspect of life.
Wait, that one trial proved the opposite. Furina actually has no control over the Oratrice at all. And yet, she is claiming that it is her manifestation, no? What was it again? Irrelevant. This one? This one.
You tried to reference the Oratrice, but weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared Child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise, you should have come up with a good explanation for that by now.
That's right.
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for humans to comprehend. There is no need to provide an explanation.
You're just spitballing here.
Lady Furina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order. While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an Archon, you are also first and foremost the defendant in this trial. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the
I
court.
never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Furina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that all should respect and follow.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Oratrice. Instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon, haven't they?
The real Hydro Archon? Well, now you're really losing me. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict that day. But the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally, and it has been operating independently ever since it was first created.
How so?
You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god behind it must also be no god at all.
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over the Oratrice.
We can put the Oratrice aside for now. But then, Miss Furina, could you give us a brief demonstration of your power as an Archon?
My power on. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just carelessly demonstrate the formidable power of an Archon?
And yet she never displayed any sort of power in the first place.
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection to the audience.
Exactly. We have a very powerful Hydra Dragon on our side. I'm sure a little puddle wouldn't mess the audience.
You don't need to go that far.
A brief demonstration of your power over Hydro should be quite harmless. Surely an Archon can at least match the capacities of a human with a vision. For example, the duel with Cloren, she has an electro vision, yeah?
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much less the authority of a god?
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people, and I've converted the people's faith in justice into Indemnitium!
I don't think she can.
Thus did
That's the
I
Orchis
give up
thing.
all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their daily lives. Have you ever seen a more magnanimous god?
No, you never actually demonstrated anything, really. Like, no indication where you could go to the Orchis and transfer the Indemnitium to somewhere else. It's all the machines work.
A huge stretch.
She's literally making up spitballing excuses.
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called a god?
Yep.
It seems like nobody's buying Furina's excuse.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey,
She can't cry wolf.
Now, everyone, please don't stare at me as if I was a liar. I'm still the same Furina you knew, right? The one that you loved. Shouldn't you want to believe in me?
I don't think that tactic will work.
Please? You've got to believe me.
I can hear the desperation in her voice already.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed a grave offense.
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And then all of our ancestors? Ever since they were born?
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the real Hydro Archon, then who is? If you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence, nor can you find anyone who can back up their claim to be such, then what grounds have you to say that I'm not actually the real deal?
Wow, she came up with yet another argument. How can we refute her now? Seems like she really doesn't want to give up.
And she's really fighting it. If you can't prove that she is an Archon, we can try to prove that she is just a human. And if she's only human... Oh boy. I have to think of this. Or is it this? What about this? This? I think?
It has been established that all Fontainians can dissolve in water from the primordial sea. And that means...
If she is an Archon, she wouldn't be affected by the primordial seawater, wouldn't it?
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all suspicions of you being the latter.
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court. Though you act in partnership with the prosecutor, you must still adhere to proper procedure.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really will be the last time that I'll speak out of turn. Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area not long ago, taking many lives, including those of some of my closest friends. So, Miss Furina, would you dare to touch some of this seawater?
And you better not insult her friends.
If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching this seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do is strengthen your case. But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years. I guess her suggestion is valid.
If Lady Furina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontainian like all the rest of us. Would she really dare to try?
I'm guessing that she's gonna have no choice. Furina?
Lady Furina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm of standard court proceedings, you possess the right to decline participation.
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a confession of guilt.
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word. It really does seem like she's quite terrified of it. That could only mean...
What's going on? Is she really planning to... That's not what we thought she would...
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Furina, you may...
No hesitation. She's stuck in there.
Hey!
She actually...
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! My hand is still here! I haven't been dissolved! Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon! I'm nothing like a normal human who would fall apart as soon as they touch this water! Really? Was this not the most obvious thing in the world?
Miss Siegewing? If you are present, Miss Siegewing, please come forward and attend to the defendant.
We have a nurse.
Siegewing? Don't be nervous.
Aww.
It'll just take a few seconds. Let me see.
Aw, I want her in my roster, Siegewing. And instead I got Dory. Ugh. Anyway, we have a nurse.
That should be enough.
A nurse that actually attended to Furina, who was affected by the seawater. So she knows the symptoms.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss Siegewing.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Furina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin. These indicate that she was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a similar concentration.
And she fell for this.
Thank you, Miss Siegewing. Lady Furina, you may return to the defendant's stand.
Oh wait, what did she just say? I didn't get dissolved! Shouldn't that be enough to prove my innocence?
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater around Poisson.
But if she were human and she was affected, she would immediately dissolve. Did they dilute it?
However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. After all, on the off chance that something entirely unexpected might occur,
Dissolving.
we don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
So they couldn't risk
So
it.
out of regard for Furina's life, you secured a low-concentration sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert witness.
Even in a low concentrated state, the water would have affected a human being either way.
It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Furina could have...
I can't believe... You...
She's starting to crack. But what's really going on here? Furina can't have known the consequences of touching that water as a human. This is too unlike how she usually acts, unless it's actually more important for her to keep up her facade than to save her own life. But hadn't she given up on everything a long time ago?
Listen to me, everyone! Please don't give me such cold and disdainful looks! What happened just now didn't prove a single thing!
But it did!
Think about it! How can you conclusively prove that an Archon can't also be affected by the primordial seawater? Also, if I was really just a human, why would I dare to just put my hand in that kind of water?
They don't believe her.
Please, everyone!
Oh, don't cry.
Anyone, just listen to me! I swear, I really am your Archon!
The dam is about to break. The silence. The averter looks. It's over. She lost.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. The odds are just too stacked against her now.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's any way left for Furina to win.
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
My poor girl. Oh, the visualizations here.
She says at this point will sway anyone who's too stacked against her now.
She's about to break.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Furina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Furina is...
guilty. And there it is. The despair. Oh gosh, she's talking again. Oh no. The plate, the slab, the prophecy.
We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges.
The throne. She's weeping. Oh no. You know, every time I look at this scene here with the trial, I'm constantly reminded of Honkai Star Rail, the constant pulling for Kafka.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Furina is...
What is it?
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
It can't be. Did the Oratrice declare Furina to be innocent?
No. The Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon, guilty to be punished via the death sentence.
Death sentence?
The death sentence?
I'm just surprised as you, man.
That's actually one of the available sentences? I've always thought that it was just a myth.
And it's y'all's fault for treating trials like some damn show.
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court, and it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice? What an unexpected twist.
Unexpected indeed.
Furina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth. How did things escalate this quickly?
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah! Even Fauché wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
Instead of Furina. What's more strange is, instead of Furina, the Oratrice rendered the judgment on the Hydro Archon. No name, but just the Hydro Archon.
Indeed. Not only is Furina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Furina has never been the Hydro Archon in the first place.
So you broke my girl for nothing.
But now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon. What does this mean?
Excuse me.
Oh hell.
If I may interrupt.
Freminate for the save.
Is the trial still going?
Fremine! Oh, you finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will always be top priority.
With some help from the other Fatui, Freminate brings a stone slate. The missing one.
First prophecy slate?
Yeah, the missing one.
Huh. So the Knave privately arranged for Freminate to try and find the missing slate.
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water. But has the trial already concluded? Then doesn't that mean I've come too late? Oh no. Father will be disappointed in me.
Every VA in Genshin is top-notch. You can't go wrong with that. Also, it's not too late for tonight. It's time for you to shine.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Femine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate.
Alright. Nuevillette being a Poisson.
Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates. We'd like you to come here and confirm their contents.
Yep. We're explorers after all. Adventurers.
Huh? So what do you see? What is it?
This looks like the previous Hydro Archon releasing her divine power, turning the Oceanids into human
I
beings?
believe I've now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's lost history.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Furina, and
We're
we've already
confusing it.
proven that she's not the Hydro Archon.
Damn it, Paimon, you're confusing me.
So when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kinda talking about?
Yep.
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stone slates. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
An association between the contents of the slates and the events in real life.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other 3 stone slates. Paimon will do her best to help you remember.
Yeah. We're gonna have to put these things together, aren't we? Alright, so we're gonna compare real events with the stone slates.
The stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn into humans. Does that mean that Fontainians are transformed Oceanids?
Yeah.
Oh, Paimon wasn't expecting that. But if Oceanids can turn into humans, then perhaps this process can be reversed as well.
Which explains the dissolving.
The second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them. This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontainians were branded with their original sin. Does this mean that the original sin and the Hydro Archon sin are the same thing? The
Pretty
third
much, I
slate
think
shows
so.
the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people. That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else?
Navia.
Well, the first slate is the prophecy the Fontainians have been talking about. People dissolving into the sea, the Hydro Archon crying on her throne, and so on.
And that's what we just witnessed. She was crying on the
We
throne.
didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we? But after that incident, it was just a question of when and not if.
Alright, I gotta figure out how to compare. So, let's see. Can we verify the truth? Alright. What was it again? No. What was it? Okay. I'm gonna try to remember everything here. Alright. Stone slates were when to show the prophecy of history of the future. First piece from night seems to have the power to turn negotiates into people. Wouldn't that be this one?
We know from the case of the serial disappearances of young women that Fontainians can be dissolved in primordial seawater. And the first stone slate tells us that long ago, the Hydro Archon used her power to turn Oceanids into humans. This might be the reason that Fontainians can dissolve.
Exactly, so there we go. Alright, then let's see. Prophecy 2 shows Celestia floating in the sky. So Celestia is not a name of a goddess, but a city in the sky? Or a land in the sky. There we go.
Perhaps what is about to take place has all happened before. And the original sin cast
crap.
down on the people of Fontaine by Celestia
I
as
didn't mean to
recorded
skip
on
it.
the stone slates.
I did not mean to skip it. I did not mean to do that. Alright, so let's see. Third slate is sinking into the sea surrounded by many people. That kind of reminds me of Navia here.
It's not as simple as falling into the sea. When Navia fell into the sea, Her consciousness was subjected to judgment. The stone slates show the people gathered around the Hydro Archon in the sea. Could that be alluding to the same thing?
It's literally what we're doing right now. Everyone's gathering around the guilty, the Furina, putting her on trial. Alright. And this one? This?
That doesn't...
No. Maybe this one?
That doesn't...
This one?
The
There we go.
prophecy from the stone slates found its way into society, but not many people believed it at first. If we hadn't dealt with it in time, things could have gone very badly.
I keep forgetting that it automatically just goes.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater, converge, and take the form of an Oceanid. The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Perhaps this means that her sin was actually Fontaine's original sin.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson in a court within her consciousness, and was forced to take part in a trial meant to make her stay.
And turn back into the ocean.
The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meripede was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what.
But something's not right.
Its content can all be verified by recent events. If we combine what we know together, loads of truths should come to light.
Alright.
Now, so that's how you can make sense of it. But then it feels like we're going to have to share some truly shocking revelations.
Oh, they're gonna learn the truth no matter what.
Let's hear them.
The first stage reveals that the Fontainians are not real humans.
Incredible. Linny, did you hear that?
We're not real humans.
All Fontainians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids as their basis. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontainians could dissolve in primordial seawater, and how all the girls Vacher dissolved were also turned into Oceanids.
Which kind of explains how Vacher kind of died that day.
And according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial, all of them in the shape of Oceanids.
Indeed.
The second state reveals that the crime of the Hydro Archon was her creation of Fontainians from Oceanids.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably anchored Celestia by creating humans without prior permission. That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to account for that ancient sin.
Well, I didn't like Celestia from the start. I don't like her now.
The Hydro Archon's true sin was creating us?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese. The twists of history are often the most unexpected of all.
Just like the third one. The third one, convinced that it should be after the fourth slate.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate?
It depicts the fulfillment of the prophecy that is already widely known.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away. Did Paimon get all that right?
Yeah, she
made
did.
some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many pieces of the truth. However, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information using a different power source.
How so?
When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates. But since we only had 3 slates at the time, I was unable to come to a full conclusion. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative recorded within. If everything goes well, we should finally be informed of the unadulterated truth.
All right.
Well, did you get it?
Simmer down, Paimon.
I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to briefly summarize it for you. Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontainians and the sin of the Hydro Archon were both correct. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the 7, did not possess the authority to create a new form of human life. Not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this planet's primordial sea. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontainians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids. Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into being.
So we were all Oceanids before we turned into human beings?
Shocker. Also, how in the world did the Fontainians ever get kids?
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single thing.
And yet, it's not going to work.
Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating us.
This really might be too much information for your regular Fontainian, but it does answer a lot of our questions.
It was a massive can of worms, I can tell you that.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the 3rd and 4th stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, correct.
So they are in the right order, but what is the 3rd slate supposed to represent anyway?
A key point of the visual on the 3rd slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are humans rather than Oceanids. They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. Instead of being the literal element, the water in the scene symbolizes judgment and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to determine her fate. Therefore, the meaning of the 3rd slate is that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice.
That means it's this. What we just did. It can't be.
Yes, it refers to our present situation.
Wow.
I think I'm following
trial.
now. So, what you're saying is, even though we decided to put on this trial to avoid fulfilling the prophecy,
We pressed it further to make it happen.
in truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy foretold. So now, it seems, we're the ones making sure it comes true.
Either way, the prophecy comes through.
What should we do?
It feels like there's no way out of this.
Huh. No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled. Is this what it feels like to be a prisoner of fate?
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy in your deductions. About the fourth slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass, yes? However,
That's so at first.
I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse to come.
What's worse thing than a flood?
As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before.
Could it be? Okay. So what the ultimate proof? What is the true source of the catastrophe?
Just a small warning of the things to come. We must find the root cause of the disaster.
Exactly. I just thought of it. The whale. Like, what was the significance? In our time in the Fortress of Meripede, we had Child's vision. And yet we had a literal personal point of view of Child, what he went through. In that dream where he's actually inside the sea and he saw that whale. And whatever that is, I think it's this thing.
It was both dream and reality.
I think I might have skipped it, but oh well.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea, right?
The whale.
The truth, the original sin, the trial, and the root cause of the disaster.
No, hold on a second. Uh-oh. Something bad's gonna happen, isn't it? Uh-oh. Run, people, run! Oh, damn! He broke the fourth wall! I'm just kidding. Damn, that's a big whale. But that's not a whale. Damn. Woo! Again, Oil doesn't mess around with these animations. Oh, damn. Oh, no. Oh, we're gonna gobble you up! Uh-oh. Oh, damn! There he is! My boy Child! Tommy out. Where was he at? Over here! Woo! Damn! Wait, was Child fighting that whale inside the primordial sea in the entire time? Yeah, he looks freaking burnt up. That thing is nothing. I'm gonna fight it again. Ugh.
It's way too close! How did that thing just burst into the opera house? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
That's right. I wagered that it's also the one that Child saw when he was young.
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tevat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the rising sea levels.
Makes sense a bit.
And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea, its next step will be
to eat
You
everything.
said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontainians out of Oceanids, she filled their blood vessels with primordial seawater.
Yeah?
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontainians nigh impossible to resist. Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food in the form of Fontainians.
I mean, opera houses sometimes have concession stands. I'm not sure. Why did I think that? I was thinking of theaters.
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people again once it's managed to recover its strength?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, the whale would have likely come onto land far sooner.
Question: isn't that why the Oratrice sentenced him to the fortress of Meripede sooner, and that he disappeared from the fortress?
From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to beat it up, right?
It is too late.
And what do you mean by that?
It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this point, it has become practically integrated with the sea itself. Even if the entirety of Teyvat were to be destroyed, it could still survive and swim off towards some other world.
Why does that sound?
That's not something I will accept.
You dumb girl.
We've already done everything we can, and we even found the true culprit. We've come so far. You can't just tell me that the last hurdle is some impossible foe. That's just not fair.
It's a literal whale.
Indeed. That's not how a grand performance should end.
I'll fight it to the end. No matter what.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
Seems like it.
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
Is that what Mage N meant? I think that's what she meant. After it turned out like this. We couldn't fight against fate. But what if this is all about fate?
Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall? Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Teyvat's future. All you need to do is to play your part.
Could it be that even if the prophecy will be fulfilled, there will still be a way to save everyone? Did I miss something? The Oratrice. Furina. What was it that she wanted to say to me the last moment in the giant magic box? What is her real secret? Okay. Oh, what's going on here?
What's happening with the Oratrice?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Off with her head. I want to give her a hug. Go to her.
No, I still need answers.
Something's happening that is affecting both me and Nuevillette, right? Uh-oh, what? What is that? Who are you? Who is she? Furina?
You.
But that's not Furina, is it? It's the same voice actress, but wow.
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Furina. Who are you?
She's her other half.
Ah, the sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focolar. You know, the god.
Focolar, why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving the heavenly principles.
To plan where the gods don't have their eyes on.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria, for the uninitiated. It hardly gets more disastrous than a preordained national catastrophe, now does it? She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass. And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized there was only one possible solution to this confounding conundrum. I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least, while saving everyone at the same time. I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a colossal mess to clean up. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand.
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known.
Okay, so question is, are we in the Ortrice de Annalise Mécanice courting now?
After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body
So
and
that's
spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Furina.
So she separated her humanity from her divinity, creating two versions of this Archon. Her human side and her divinity. That is inside the Ortrice?
She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished.
But Focolar was forced to stay in one place, away from the gaze of the heavenly principles?
Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, Furina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be.
That's awfully nice of you.
Anyway, so then I cursed her.
I take it back, you're a bitch.
All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles.
I take it back. You're just cruel.
Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon, alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Furina to be an actress. To play the part of the Hydro Archon in the prophecy, under the curse I placed on her. So long as I, Focolar's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness.
It's because of the role she had to play. She was tasked by her, Focolar's Archon, to prevent the prophecy. She can't confide in anyone. She can't tell the truth. She has to stick to her facade no matter what.
Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance of that prophecy coming to pass.
That's really
I suppose
cool.
Now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
But Furina is only human, isn't she? Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human being.
Take the example of a Conrian individual like Aubrey. He was already losing his mind before finding a way to end his immortality.
I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure. It must have been torture for her.
I mean, yeah. Existential crisis?
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely owe her an apology for it.
And give her a hug like the big sister you are.
It's been 500 years.
Okay, I wouldn't mind lasting 500 years, but the amount of existential crisis you have to go through?
And all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
I will never imagine that at all. Back to us. I came into contact with Furina's tears. If I remember correctly, tears often contain a being's strongest emotions. With sufficiently strong hydrosensitivity, I can form an emotional connection, just like I did with that ocean in the Fountain of Lucine. Wait, is this her inner world? Furina, what is she doing on stage? That probably isn't Furina, most likely a reflection of her inner self. That's her facade, right? I could directly, if I could speak to that self, I might be able to easily get what I wanted to know. I came here for answers. Either way, this opportunity is not to be missed. Let's try talking to her.
Oh? Who permitted you to come onto this stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my august self, but I must ask you to keep to the rules.
Come on, it's me.
All right. It is not my intent to reprimand
Don't look
you.
at me.
There is no need to state your name.
Don't look
Just
at
off with you.
me.
Do not distract me from my performance.
Wait. Does that say don't look at me, don't look at me? I don't see an audience here.
Oh, do not
Just let the stage
Can
lights
you
go
not
off.
feel it?
Please. If only for a second. Is that her inner thoughts?
I am Focolar. The
That way,
eyes of countless Fontainians
I
are
can
upon me. I must,
become
at all
myself again?
times, display the utmost elegance and nobility.
That I could become myself again. Something's off. There's no getting through her. Even if in her heart of hearts, she's still playing the role of the Hydro Archon. What kind of a sort of resolve must she have that even her inner self and subconscious would have such an impenetrable defense? We have to find a way. Alright. She said as to turn the lights off. Are those spotlights the representation of the people's expectations?
Dear audience, the performance is experiencing
cry-
a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
A cry without echo, shackles.
There is no escape.
Alright, let me get rid of this.
Hey there!
Sorry, Furina. I was right to use this. Alright. Let's try this one.
Hey, what gives? The audience is still
silence.
watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Oh, a silence without end chains.
Shine down. Torn to oblivion. There is no escape.
Yeah. Watch her performance? That's all the spotlights turned off. In Furina's heart, they must have symbolized the eyes of the people on her. Speaking of which, I think I just received some sort of signal. Was that her true voice? Take it. When did that end up here? Either way, it looks like the show's about to begin. In that case, show me how you truly feel, Furina. We're gonna get our origin stories here. Before Mirror Furina.
Furina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you.
I will have to give props to the voice actress for these two characters. She did an excellent job on this character. And the other character as well. Her entire performance was really good.
Wait a moment. You're mirror me? How can this be?
Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad. Let's go with that.
Mirror me? What do you wish to say?
The prophecy. Have you heard of it?
What prophecy? Oh, wait. I know. I think. I don't know why, but it's in my head somehow. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Oh, very good. You know it well.
What's going on? I can't seem to remember anything clearly. The only thing I know for sure is this prophecy. Will it really come to pass?
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine sooner or later. Things will develop just as the prophecy declared. There is no escaping it.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontainian just like them. Will I dissolve too?
Oh.
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance to turn things around. It is the reason why you met me today. I will tell you how to save everyone, but you may have to suffer somewhat.
Oh.
Being cursed?
So there's still hope after all. Goodness, you frightened me. You spoke so much and with so much certainty. As for the suffering, well, I will admit that the first thing that came to mind was, why do I have to be the one to suffer?
Being immortal?
But if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right? So if I've already met you as my magical meeting in this world, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side, and my pain on the other,
Is it not obvious where the scale should tilt?
You truly are the perfect human. My ideal. I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs to you.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play a role. That of the new Archon.
Play as a god?
That's right.
Aww.
You must begin a never-ending masquerade. You must never let anyone suspect your identity. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed, then all hope will be lost.
But how will I do this? A human assuming the role of a god without being exposed.
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. You simply need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be. Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know what such an entity would be like.
It better not be Venti.
Remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing divinity, but contending against humanity.
I'm still not sure I understand, but I'll try. I'll try to do this.
She sounds so innocent here. Untouched by all this pain and hurt. Yet she was willing to do it. She was willing to do everything she can.
So, how long am I going to have to play this role?
And she has no idea how much unbearable pain that she will have to go through in order to keep up this masquerade.
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. You will endure and not grow old until your task ends. But I promise you, all will eventually end in a magnificent and dramatic trial, and everyone will be saved.
A trial, huh? How exciting. I'll be looking forward to it.
Oh, poor girl.
The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession, but this is my first time facing the people. What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest, I still don't know. Perhaps I should first try to act natural. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Opera Epiclese. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. Indeed, I am Furina de Fontaine, your new Archon. In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor to guide you all. As the god Focolar, the god of justice, I shall do all within my power to lead you into an age of fairness and justice. Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, please send them to the Maison Cardinalise. The future of Fontaine will require us to work together, after all. This should do it. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was able to convey my thoughts just fine. Okay, and next.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke?
Excuse me?
I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit more assertive.
Excuse me?
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's the difference between her and an ordinary person, then?
What's wrong with that? The amount of disrespect.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just be a Maison-backed puppet.
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a fake? Oh, this is bad.
Oh,
if I get exposed here, There'll be no saving the people from the prophecy.
Now she's getting panicked.
Right. Myrmi said that I just need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be. Calm down, Furina. Think. What do the people want? How would they imagine a god to speak and act?
If the people weren't such a-holes, this whole thing wouldn't have happened.
Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all doubt. That is the character I'm fated to play.
And this is where it begins, this facade. Her attitude, her... the annoying laugh. I'm sorry.
Very good, my people. Only ones such as you are deserving of my rule. Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house, would the children of Fontaine follow them? Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness wondrous trials alongside my august self, here in this opera house. You may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut that suited the atmosphere. Now then, let us be reintroduced.
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Personality. It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
The voice is fading.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful. Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my
Resolutely, with conviction.
My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that justice is most fragrant when it blooms amid sin.
Let's turn up the drama.
The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its god. On one side, it must carry fairness and justice. And may law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fires and drink to the future of Fontaine!
Let's end this speech putting empathetically.
There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. All that is needed is for you, my people, to believe in it, heart and soul. So long as I, the Archon Focolar, stand within the Opera Epiclese, so long as I stand before the oratrice, I shall even judge the gods of this world!
Oy Faye. Alright, third day. Oh wait. Oh, I can see the scratch marks right there. I just noticed that. This isn't her office, right?
Lady Furina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now, was I not just at the Opera House in person? Leave these kinds of things to Nuevillette. Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of trial are you truly looking forward to?
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to end all things. How could you hope to understand?
Isn't that what we just went through?
That's true. I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought, Lady Archon.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duties. The trial I await. It will come one day.
Which isn't now.
Lady Furina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for agreeing to see me.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of perseverance instead. Long have you stood in line to meet me, have you not? Oh, I'm afraid that's just an inevitable consequence of my divine charm. All right. Deuteria, is it? How is your son's illness?
You remembered me, and you knew of my family, too. He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I. He was the one who forced me to seek an audience with you, and to bring your words back to him.
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future, please do not hesitate to come and tell me. Going down to citizens' homes every so often, while not usual practice, should serve as a fine change of pace.
You're such a gentle and wise god. Thank you once again, on behalf of my son.
Lady Furina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked to take note of, I'm afraid things still don't look good.
Is this where she started investigating?
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I wanted to see how far your human wisdom would allow you to analyze it. All manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass. Forget it. That's not something you need to worry about right now.
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute is also trying to find a way to counter the rising water levels.
And how that ended
Really? Have they found anything?
They blew up their own lab.
Afraid that they haven't found any effective solution thus far.
Oh, is that so? Well, no wonder. This issue has reached the realm of the gods, after all.
Happy there.
Still, their spirit is praiseworthy.
Sorry about that. I'm getting the sniffles. Let's end the day.
The day is finally over. I haven't had a moment to breathe this whole time, but it's good to see that everything's getting on track. There are no longer any voices of suspicion. Maybe this is fine. I just need to keep going, and everyone will be saved. All right, Furina, don't think too hard about this. You need rest. Tomorrow's a new day.
And new day indeed. Yeah, right there. Tally marks.
Lady Furina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a summary of the follow-up.
There'll be no need for that. I've seen them already. There's no need to go back over scenes I've witnessed in person before.
Okay.
Lady Furina, I've waited so long for this chance to see you in this manner.
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen. This joyous moment is an honor for us both.
She's doing good at keeping up with the appearances here.
Lady Furina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Poisson.
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed should anything come up at the Institute. I don't think I let anything slip today. I must show the people that there is nothing to worry about.
And it's only the 4th day.
I just don't know when these days will end.
And she might lose track of those days.
I feel utterly exhausted. Best to rest early today, too.
Okay. How many days have passed by? Oh, we're still on the 5th day right here. Just want to let you guys know, see. Enough. Oh. Long hair, short hair. I like how she sometimes switches from her long hair to short hair. Like the long hair is the actual. Ooh. Ooh. 182,000 days.
It's
It's like a dream being able to speak with you up close like this.
Was it 182,000 days? Damn.
I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was Madame Deoteria, almost 20 generations ago.
200 years passed. Oh my god.
And what a fine family yours is indeed. It brings me great joy to meet such a faithful believer, a descendant of a line most ardent.
I could tell from the laugh right here she was about to crack a bit.
Surely you exaggerate, Lady Furina. My lady?
What is it, good citizen?
She's sobbing.
Are you
crying?
Uh-huh.
What? You didn't know.
Really now? I didn't even notice.
Oh, poor baby.
This
poor girl.
must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god whose dominion is the waters, can I?
She's already going down.
No wonder. A manifestation of your power, then. Oh, Archon, I am honored to have witnessed it. Honored indeed.
Oh, I'm actually tearing up a bit. I just want to give her a hug. She needs a hug. Have pets too.
So interminable. So lonely. Just how much longer?
Poor Furina.
Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go on for hundreds more. I never imagined that it would hurt so much.
Such as the curse of immortality. And now you know how the Conrian people feel.
Have I reached my limit? No. Perhaps I reached it long ago. Today I didn't even notice my own tears. I want to tell someone, anyone, about this. But would that not destroy all I've done so far?
And it's the thing, she can't. If she were to confide into someone or tell anyone, at least, even from us, the traveler who is not from Teyvat, she can't break the facade.
I've conducted so many investigations across the centuries, but there's not even a sliver of hope that we might break the prophecy. All I can do is keep heart. I must maintain this act. It is the only way to save Fontaine.
The actress is really good.
Please, mirror me. You have to succeed.
I bet you've been you got many praises to the for the voice actress. Like, I gotta give it to her. Many praises. How many days is that? 182,376 days. And what? Wait, is that now?
Furina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone.
Yes.
Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone, your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
This was then, before the trial, in the batch box. That's my voice. Is this scene from when we were within that giant magic box? This is great. I didn't think that this scene would be played in her inner world. Surely I'll find out what she wanted to tell me this time.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just share it with me. I'm what you'd call a witness.
A witness? Yes. I've heard that you came to Teyvat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here. And if Teyvat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you? If that's the case...
This is where she's really hopeful.
I could confide in her, couldn't I?
She's struggling.
But if things don't play out as expected, the people of Fontaine will be the ones to pay the price. No, Furina. You shouldn't be selfish.
She was really struggling right there.
But what if it's really alright? Furina, you've worked so hard for so long.
500 years.
Surely it would be okay to put yourself first for once. Isn't
Just
it
for once.
such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find someone in whom you can confide your frustrations and sorrows. Surely it could not hurt. If you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, it might never come by again. Think about it. Long and hard.
And in the end, she was about to say it. She was really considering it.
No, I have nothing to say. I am Furina, the Archon of Fontaine. Everything will surely get better.
And in the end, she chose that facade.
All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance until the curtains fall.
She wouldn't let up.
Fine.
And that, Furina, you just lost your potential girlfriend, or in Aether's case, date, boyfriend.
So even Furina doesn't know the truth?
Ah.
You've never once let her in on the full plan?
She was never told everything in order to deceive.
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself.
Ah.
She did very
Quite literally.
well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to the most tragic fate. It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the truth, is it not? How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine? That is the most important thing.
Ah, good, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
It was the Oratrice, in essence, her container?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber.
So it was Focolar's voice.
It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along. Am I right?
And I'm guessing that she chose the verdicts herself to play out.
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me.
That explains it.
Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it?
And that explains it. We met with the Knave, or Archon, where she talked about how she tried to take the gnosis from Furina, but it wasn't within her, indicating that she was not an Archon at all, and suspecting that Lenny's investigation with the Oratrice, it could be that the gnosis was in the machine after all.
Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks sufficient depth.
Yeah.
In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice.
Literally a giant guillotine.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she has been placed.
Why?
I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose while Furina suffered? My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the Oratrice. But really, Some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device was ever used to provide power to Fontaine. The vast majority had to be, accumulated to enact this death sentence.
It had to be powerful enough to destroy the literal throne.
It was all a part of your plan then? Both the trial and the sentence?
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the oratories, but only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia, and breaking through the institution that is the Seven.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Furina nor Focolar, but for the Hydro Archon.
Literally, the Hydro Archon and the Divine Throne. Wow.
The destruction of that divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent, you must be...
And I just got it. He's the Hydro Archon, right? And if I remember correctly from the lore, I think Celestia, or the Heavenly Principles, took all the Sovereign Dragon's power and put them into 7 individuals to represent each nation?
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course.
I knew it. We're giving Hydro Daddy back his powers.
In other words,
why did I say that?
This was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
But...
I love the music here.
Getting sad again, are we?
I really like the music in this.
The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign. And this is the face you make.
If I listen to this song more, I'm going to be sleeping. It is the song I will sleep into, man.
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
And Nuevillette's just a big baby, man. And I feel it. I can feel
I've
it.
never quite seen it that way, you know.
I get sad
Even
too.
now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked.
I would be sad too if I was listening to this.
Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty of essentially the same crime?
It is.
Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons possessed. I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that your original powers should be returned to you?
Wait, is the Heavenly Principles the same being that separated me and my sibling in the game?
Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human existence itself. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as humans and their right to exist in this world would be Fontaine's original justice. In other words, existence was Egeria's justice, and to me, justice is the continuation of that existence, defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on. That should be the justice enthroned over all others. At this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontainians, have shouldered the burden of this sin for far too long. Iudex Nuevillette, the highest judge in our land. When you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign, What verdict shall you pass upon us?
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Eudex, I see now that that was your idea too.
It was all calculated?
At last. I now understand the true purpose behind this position.
Wait a minute. So if the sentence was carried out, that means the power of Hydra will return to him, in essence having control over the curse, prophecy, essentially making him the only outside factor to ultimately save Fontaine.
In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding between us. And I have even attempted to feel as they... You are a devious one, Focolar.
Yes, she is.
Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
Yeah. Uh-oh. The sentence is about to carry
The
out.
hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common.
She's a real one.
Farewell, Nuevillette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Her last performance? Great. Off with her head. Well, not literally. To be honest, I actually cried for Furina. Wait, does that mean that she got her curse ended? Oh, there he is.
I, Eudex Nuevillette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Wow. Oh, that's cool. We used the 1.
What just happened? Has the death sentence been carried out?
Has it been like seconds? A millisecond?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection? I have a feeling that something huge just happened.
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved, I assume whatever happened was good for us.
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
Didn't you say just a moment ago that it can't be defeated?
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the primordial sea from that creature.
Yeah, because he got that massive power boost.
We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry.
You obtained the power just now?
Traveler, Now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out justice.
You mean me?
The root of the calamities befalling Fontaine. The beast that enacts the prophecy. Its name is the all-devouring Narwhal.
They could have come up with a better name than that, but... Like, I can't think of anything. And we'll go with that.
Come with me, traveler. The hour of execution has come.
Finally. Woo. We finally go whale hunting now, huh? Damn! Ooh.
But how are we going to do that? It's huge!
Any way we can?
I've already done my best to separate the power. See from away. Considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a cost of the ancient dragon's power. I shall look for
oh my god. I could probably do little damage of it.
There is no escape! Hey there!
I fear that sorrow turning into hostility.
Hey there!
Wait, where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Where you going, big old son bitch? Get back here.
Shine down!
The all-devouring Narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. Chance will present itself.
Ooh! Ooh, okay. Liking this music so far. I don't think we could damage it so far. Oh, hell no! But I think that was supposed to happen. Now, who are you? Oh, who are you? Ooh, alright. You got it.
There is no escape!
Oh.
Coming at you! Fire!
I'm loving the music.
Shines eternal!
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Damn.
A proper send-off from the Speedolus Club. Hey there!
Oh, you...
Your weapons. This one's got your name on it.
Oh, it's almost cracked. Now.
Hey there. Shine down. Watch out.
Whee!
A proper send down.
I like that right there. That was the shortest boss fight. Yeah. Alright, looks like we took it down a notch. I really love these visuals, man. Guys, what's going on? Ooh. There's Child, and who is she? Oh, damn! She just eating him back to Shishnaya. I wanted to say that. Once as soon as I saw it,
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but oh well. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling in the meantime. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but they bumped into one another earlier than I thought. What a blunder. I suppose I'll have to swing my sword 3 million times as penance.
How can you bear to swing 3 million swings with a sword swings? Also, disciple and your master's pet? That kind of reminds me of something. Are you... Skirtle? Skirk. Yeah. I don't know why I say Skirtle, but... You Skirk.
Who are you exactly?
She must be Child's master, I think?
Paimon has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. Skirk, right? It's just that he gave us the impression that she was the less talkative person.
I just want to take a moment to hear the music in the background. It's all calm. I really like that music background right there that just comes from the background. Like, we're in some place, like, empty, calm. Like, the ocean tides are calming.
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, managed to defeat the all-devouring Narwhal without using power from beyond this world.
Also, look at her limbs. I love her design. The visuals on the legs and the arms? That's just awesome. That's just cool.
So you may speak to me as equals.
What sort of person would take an all-devouring narwhal as a pet?
I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to raise an all-devouring narwhal. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. The only thing that creature has going for it is its looks.
That be true.
All in all, it fails as a pet.
But why a pet, though?
Miss Skirk? I think you might have missed the point.
Shut up, Paimon.
The point being?
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed an entire nation. So what sort of person is your master? Well, Child's master's master. Wait, is that right?
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, I assumed you did. His name is Sertologi.
Sertologi? It's quite a good name.
I am unfamiliar with that name.
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous. How should I describe him then? Have you heard of the name The Foul?
The Foul? Like the Foul Legacy, yeah? Huh. So was he the one that forged the armor then?
The Foul?
Still nothing?
Sounds like an ancient name to me.
How about the Visionary? Vetterfulnir then? Or Gold Rhindaughter?
Ooh, that one we've heard! Rhindaughter's part of the Hexen Circle. She's Albedo's mom, right?
Again, I never read into the lore. I try to read into the lore, but... well, making content, I just haven't had the time.
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from my master. I don't actually know them either. But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar sort to Rhindaughter. They are both pursuing some form of perfection.
Wait! Didn't you also mention a visionary person? Paimon didn't quite catch their name.
Actually, never mind that. I believe it expedient to inform you that the all-devouring Narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you.
Yeah, it
Such
sure did.
hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the Fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into chaos. In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be in full swing.
And at that point... no, there's little to be surprised about, Paimon. It is natural. After all, the prophecy will surely come true. We knew this, and accepted it. However...
not to worry. Focolar has already managed to deceive the heavenly principles.
yeah, by pulling one under us.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters. and only Furina will remain, weeping on her throne.
Can I hug her? Holy. Jeez.
Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Except it's already been washed away by Nuevillette. Neuvillette's waters. And not the Heavenly Principles' ocean. So fuck you, Heavenly Principles. Fuck you, Celestia. They're okay.
Hey! Help! Over here!
Why do I recognize that voice actor? That voice. I could have sworn I heard that voice somewhere. Yeah, oh well. Look at all those boats. Makes me think, what's going to be with the bigger boats? Damn! Noah's Ark? Or should I say, the Metropede's Ark?
All hands, initiate emergency rescue!
It's a flying ship! Literal flying ship. Holy crap. What do you think they do with those claws?
Hurry!
Let's play the Fontaine Claw game. How many Fontainians can you claw up?
Hey, lend a hand!
I mean, you could grab the boats, but that's fine. Or platforms. It's really fun. Cool. I'm just gonna shut up now.
Look! The water's receding!
Yeah. Looks like it's over. We saved everybody.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Technically, it wasn't wrong, but we'll let them believe that. Oh, look at her.
Are you alright?
We're safe.
Look at the relief on Furina's face.
What was wrong?
Yeah. You can sense the relief in her voice. Wow. What the hell? Okay.
The soil renewed. The Furina Verdict talks post-disaster rebuilding. I recently visited Poisson to meet with Miss Navia, spokesperson of the Furina Verdict, and we spoke about Poisson's present and future.
So they're starting to rebuild Poisson. Also, yeah.
Old soil can still give birth to new bloom, Miss Navia stated. Hope is like seeing a small cookie when you're starving late at night. You just need a little of it. Skyship Winglet, lunar brain of the Fontaine Research Institute.
Jeez, look at the size of that thing.
The various disputes that have arisen on account of Mr. Edwin have suddenly become a shield over the Institute, with Jurier turning out to be a once overlooked hidden gem. People always call the first researcher mad, but few know what to call the second. And should that latter person achieve a miracle, they would find it all the harder to find a word with which to classify him and his team. Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Jurier and Navia? They sound like real big shots.
They might have been real big shots from the start. We just didn't meet them in that capacity.
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The Steambird's idea was pretty simple. With the disaster just having passed, we would print a free edition packed to the margins with good news to calm people down. The value for these big scoops lies in their inevitable follow-ups. We'll publish further reports and go into the stories behind those people.
Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true flying ship, while Navia is leading people in the reconstruction of their home. I'm sure that these stories could draw even your well-traveled eye.
Sometimes every good plan you need is a mad scientist one. Take a lesson from Saga the Tanya the Evil.
Pirate's curious too! Wait a minute. Didn't we watch everything happen from start to finish? What's there to be curious about?
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me.
Ooh.
You're the best incubators of news, if you haven't noticed. And also, with you around, I'm sure I'll get to see that Duke.
She's still on it.
Hasn't he turned you down several times already?
She still ain't giving up on
This
that.
time will be different. Come on, let's head to Poisson first, and then make a trip to the fortress. There are some things you'll only know when you get there.
That'd be true.
Navia!
Bonjour.
Oh, it's you. What brings you all here?
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here. Oh, the Fatui are here too.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snežević. He represented the Knave in sending us a large amount of supplies, and is helping with our work. Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing nicely. We've lost a lot of people, but we're moving forward. That will have to be enough.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. I especially like that article you wrote last year about Fontaine's stray cats. But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here. We just happen to share the same interests as the Spina.
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to feature as friendly neighbors?
That would be fine.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour before the workers are able to go over there.
Huh? You're here too, Clarence?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Furina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat. All right. She really came here to help me out.
What was that stare?
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision makers. And, well, I do already happen to be connected to Mr. Callis.
I swear to God, if neither Clorin or Siegewin have to be in the roster, or better yet, Arlecchino would be in the roster as well, be playable. I'm still praying for that.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel, about what it was like facing down a god. There's lots of exciting material there, I bet.
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a better theme than that, Miss Charlotte.
She's just camera shy.
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do me a favor, for Navia's sake?
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or of the Traveler. It's better than wasting time persuading Clorand at it.
Of course I will.
At any rate.
I'm not gonna let her off that easy.
Sorry.
All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather up. And smile.
There we go.
How did it go? Was it
Why does Dahlia's always looking fabulous?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots.
Okay.
All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news, and freshness is the key. Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections. Who knows? I might eventually get that interview with you after all, Miss Clorand.
Wow, you really do have that never say die spirit. I'm impressed.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of Maripede.
You already knew you already knew she was going?
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess too. I asked Siegewin, who told Monsieur Nuevillette, and he told you, right?
That's a very complete information chain.
She is extremely smart here.
In truth, all Monsieur Nuevillette asked me was, when did the fortress become so friendly towards the media? I told him that it was best not to speak too soon. There's no guarantee that Ridsley will make a personal appearance.
You're right. I've got to treasure every moment I have with them. In which case, I'll be making a move first.
He just knows how to dodge the paparazzi like a rock star.
Stay safe now. And tell me if you hear anything interesting. I'll treat you to afternoon tea in exchange.
You seem curious about the fortress.
Of course. That Risley. I still remember going down to the fortress to grill him for information on my father's case. Boy, did he take me for a ride. Without telling me anything, of course.
But he did invite you to tea, didn't he?
2 large pots of it, in fact. It was good tea, though.
I have to agree. The tea there is very good.
Speaking of that, would you like to have some today? I mean, you've got time, right?
Well, I'd be partial to some shortbread.
Wow, it's like we've got a menu or something. Sure.
Good.
What flavor of biscuits would you like, Mr. Snezhevich?
Me? I'm fine with anything. But I would prefer chocolate, should you have it.
All right. Leave it to me.
I'll go over the newly arrived supplies with you later, Mr. Snezhevich. We should be able to finish the preparatory work today.
That works great for me.
Is it just me, or did you get a new lipstick?
Only Navia would notice that. Wait.
I did. It was a gift from Sijwin. Want to give it a try? I think the color would suit you, too.
Oh my. Well, I shall not disturb them. Back to prison.
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic feeling to this place.
Yeah.
Looks like you've been missing us.
You joke.
Did you come all the way to the entrance to greet us?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss Charlotte, whom our good head nurse recommended to me.
It's an honor to finally meet the much-rumored Duke. Thank you for consenting to my visit to the fortress, sir.
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the focus of your interview. I trust you recall our agreement?
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
Okay, then. What's going on with these two?
Hey, no need to be so nervous. I've already taken all the photos we need.
Yeah, now we just need a couple's photo.
Miss Charlotte, do these pictures really need to be published on the cover of the Steambird?
How else are you gonna get widely known in the scientific community?
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear beside that of Mr. Jurier,
Sir, please don't say things like that.
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it. Might this interview be very important to you, then?
He's still teasing them about being a couple.
No, I just... This is my first time being interviewed, and I'm very thankful to the Steambird for...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once.
You sure?
And I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting with you more. You've definitely got more of that genius vibe going on.
He's sounding like the genius attitude.
About a miracle, the ark that saved the people. Why, you recreated a myth back there, like an emissary of legend. Still, if I might ask, where's that flying ship now?
In secret.
Looks like Charlotte's trying to get herself another exclusive scoop.
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory. I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to get a shot of it.
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have an interview with you to make up for that loss?
She really does know how to squeeze opportunities for all their worth.
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo of this couple of researchers?
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well, then 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here.
We have 2 soon.
We've seen this kind of thing before.
Yes, they're known as tsundere couples. It's weird and an odd combination.
Oh, seems like everyone's
There she
here.
is.
Would any of you like to try this new drink I came up with?
Scatter.
Sijwin.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you, take some pretty photos of our head nurse?
I save.
Sure. Come on, Miss Sijwin. Over this way. Let's find a brighter spot.
Huh? Sure. Do I have to smile?
I really want her roster.
So, how have
As
things
much
been
as I
at the
want to
fortress?
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but this place is still more or less the same.
Other than that flying ship, it got a tad too much attention, I think.
And I wonder how much fuel that it wasted.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind-the-scenes heroes. Am I right, Mr. Jurrier? Miss Lurvine?
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the sun. Not that you would want that, which is a pity.
I'll just leave the spotlight to you two.
Yep. We walked with Risley for a while and shared the news above ground with him.
I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not sure you remember, but his 3 young followers are still waiting for his return.
He sure did win them over, huh?
Uh-huh.
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentences for abetting his escape.
They're still doing that follower thing now?
Oh, actually, what about you? Are things gonna change for you too?
What change can there be? The fortress will keep chugging along, and so will my duties. As to what Miss Furina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
Hey everyone, the photo shoot's done.
What does this whole situation with the Fortress of Airbeam remind me of Honkai Star Rail in Yarilos 6? Overworld and Underworld.
Good.
Too much
In that
similarity.
case, let's call it a day here.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go. Till next time, everyone.
There'll be a next time?
Oh.
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory next time. Until then.
Look up below! Howdy coming through!
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they've been at the docks distributing these strange pockets the whole time since.
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte, too.
Does she mean the magic
Would you like a
pockets?
magic pocket?
I was right.
What sort of gadget is it?
I just popped my neck. I hurt.
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any of your things floating around, you can use this to carry them. Or you could trick a friend into doing it for you.
Trick a friend? I wonder which of my friends would fall for that.
Don't look at us. We already know about it.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by, I'll help you make some more friends?
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
Sure. Please, write down my address.
Lynette sure is working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Sounds like that would suit him.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself. In the
Pear.
future, I think we can leave underwater escape magic to him too.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
That would seem confusing.
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first step. He'll become a part of our show eventually.
Lynette, could you come over? Miss Charlotte says she wants to take a picture of us.
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to say to you.
Oh.
So, how have things been, Traveler?
Considering the fact that we fought an abyssal whale, we had to uncover a hell of a conspiracy, and another conspiracy dealing with a lot of things, a crime that lasted a couple of 20 years, and not to mention unveiling mysteries of the ancient history of Fontaine, I'm doing okay.
Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very grateful for your contributions to Fontaine.
Oh, I'm sure.
We were more than happy to help. So,
Could I get my reward for by having her in my team?
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. Well, after Lady Furina left, Father and Monsieur Nuevillette opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine's gnosis to her as a diplomatic gift.
A diplomatic gift? A gnosis?
Yet another win for the Fatui of the Gnosis.
Yes.
What is the purpose
I
of
was
it?
quite surprised at first myself. But when I thought it over, there were actually a number of things going for it. It could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying the all-devouring Narwhal down. Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid to Fontaine and Poisson.
Good points.
But this is a gnosis we're talking about. Doesn't this seem a bit irresponsible?
To be truthful, the Archon is now dead, or executed, therefore no longer exists. So a gnosis is pretty damn useless.
I would agree, but I've also heard that it seems that Monsieur Nuevillette has had a significant change of heart regarding the matter.
So there's some reason for this that only Nuevillette knows about?
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself. Ah, yes, speaking of which, I did see him strolling around the entrance to the Fortress of Marrakech a while back.
Isn't he real busy and stuff? Paimon didn't think he'd have the time for that. But back to the topic. The gnosis was given to the Knave, right? What about Child?
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds. I hear that the recent disaster really did a number on his health.
I'm sure with the constant use of his foul legacy. Well, guess I can now call him one of my war buddies.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui.
A lot.
We'd be allied with them this time.
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Technically we didn't switch sides, but we just considered, what's our alliance. You know her.
Father.
Mommy, Daddy.
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the Traveler by chance. Please do not pay my accomplishments in Fontaine too much mind. I would have done them regardless.
Are you going to take the gnosis back to Snezhnaya?
What else are they going to do with a gnosis?
That is our duty as harbingers, yes. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a grand goal in mind, it is inevitable that we must wear many masks. Switching my masks is something I've always done.
Will you keep your position?
Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't rely on it forever? As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration.
So do I.
Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners.
Well, I'm sure we did. Actually, I just remembered something. Please help us deliver this.
A vision? All right. I'll remember to return it. Thank you for keeping it safe for him this entire time.
And that's a wrap for me. Huh? You're...
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report to take a photo of you.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians and our upcoming rookie talent.
I will.
The sea breeze
Oh,
is
she's
quite
sipping.
pleasant.
Don't know why.
I shall continue my walk while the weather remains so agreeable. Farewell.
Especially the fact that now Fontainians are no longer able to dissolve in water, so they can freely swim however they want. Take walks near the beach, having the ocean just sprays on their legs without the risk of being dissolved. They're free from the curse.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews. Thank you all. This'll be more than enough for me to write about, I'm sure.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon, you take one too.
This is an actual gadget we can use.
To move things about?
That's right. funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met, too. And what do you know? I'm doing the exact same thing right now. So many things have happened, but the pockets are still the pockets. I guess this must be life. We will all follow our own paths, and serendipity will lead you to your fated friends. All right, then. We'll be handing out pockets in some other districts later, so we'll get going now. Have a good day, you two.
Yep.
Guess we sent Charlotte, huh? Shall we go see what Neuvillette's doing? As long as he's not so busy that he doesn't have time to chat anyway. So, you really are here, Nuevillette. I didn't think you were going to have free time this hour of the day.
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. He took the time to greet me earlier when he passed this way. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a meeting, so I may explain some things that I haven't had the time to before.
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. Thank you for keeping us on your mind, what with you being... Alright, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually saved? The whole business is still quite the mystery to us.
It is strange how words can often leave a bitter taste in the mouth when it finally comes time to say them out loud.
Right.
Whoa. So that's what happened?
I only saw Furina's part myself.
Focolar destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming you into a fully fledged elemental dragon sovereign. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontainians from dissolving.
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control over the hydro element. Fontainians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea, with constitutions similar to that of mimics. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood, after the fashion in which life was first brought into being on this planet.
He did the Jesus thing.
In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontainians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be dissolved by water from the primordial sea.
Focolar must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true while saving everyone.
You could say that it was at that moment that the Fontainians were finally truly born.
Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Focolar finally managed to fulfill the original Hydro Archon's wish to turn Oceanids into real people too!
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away.
Definitely.
I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Alright, let's start from the top. About the initial verdict that was passed on the child.
I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. There, by chance, he awakened the all-devouring Narwhal. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. At most, he would have had tangential liability. As for the judgment passed by the oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association, or Focolar deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off, I cannot say.
Guess Focolar had Fontainians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became real human. Hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got another question. Back when Fontainians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed Oceanids?
Exactly.
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontainians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to pray for children?
Yeah, Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine converge.
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, but instead a form of ritual. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Literal, a stalk.
Paimon
Don't
gets it now.
I forgot.
Either way, seems like this ritual won't be of any further use, but it'll probably live on as a local custom.
Baby, what is like? Why did I think that?
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Alright.
Yeah, about that. Wriothesley said Furina has already left. What's that all about?
Wait, she left?
Ah, Lady Furina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs related to that title to me, before leaving the Opera House. I related Focolar's words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither saddened nor comforted. She simply said that she was tired and needed to rest.
I can't blame her.
Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the Opera House. Not unlike how an ordinary person might.
But she's still got a place to stay, right?
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing, board, or travel. In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will, of course, take time to heal, but now that she no longer has to play the role of Focolar the Hydro Archon, she can finally lay down her burdens and lead a normal life.
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've regained your full powers as the Hydro Dragon?
Well, she could do whatever she wants.
After Focolar passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts. From now on, I shall hear cases and pass verdicts by myself.
So we don't need an AI or a machine to take over verdicts or anything, really. We gotta do this the old-fashioned way.
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the perspective of the Udex, huh?
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power and this duty, in a manner of speaking, you could say that both were granted to me. As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to serve Fontaine as its highest judge. The duty of the Hydro Sovereign and the duty of the Udex shall coexist within my person. Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that the Opera House shall no longer produce indemnitium.
That's true. That power was derived from the people's faith in the Hydro Archon, wasn't it?
And for which we have taken away that faith.
Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are all still okay. Where are they getting their energy from?
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason why I cannot quite leave Fontaine immediately.
Wow. This ancient dragon's authority stuff is really quite useful, huh?
And yet we have him I have him in my roster, which I use variously to face against that damned pyro plant.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right!
The nooses.
So you've given it to the Knave as a diplomatic gift or something!
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done much for us during this crisis. Their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this point, would seem to be the Gnosis. The Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more.
Like I said before.
Right? As such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine.
I didn't mean to skip. My hand was on the freaking space bar. He can no longer use the Gnosis power. That's what he was going to say.
If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request now and avoid unnecessary conflict.
What complicated considerations? Paimon thought you were just giving it to them out of gratitude to the Knave and as an apology to Child.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume. I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell you what I know about that land. As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
A nation of
Really?
dragons? You mean like you?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Large numbers of them have entered a form of coexistence with humanity. Natlan is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands like an undying flame. There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the Knave that I believe may be useful to you. The Harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring of war.
We're getting Cappuccino over here?
The Captain. Sounds like a real tough customer. Seriously, everywhere you look, there's a Fatui Harbinger doing their thing.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. In the meantime, Fontaine's doors will always be open to you.
In other words, we have to wait until the actual regional updates. And Natlan's still on the works. And yet we're getting in a new region between Fontaine and Liyue.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
I have no more questions.
Hang on a sec. Paimon's still got a question about the Gnosis. When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving away the Gnosis had clearly changed. We guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you were aware of.
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. They are certainly sharp. So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting ready to share something with you.
What is it?
In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, all right, Nuevillette? Whoa!
What next?
The all-devouring Narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any interference. I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. It's quite a novel blend. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
I do not know what you speak of.
Of course. How could I forget? You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
Remains?
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing.
According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
Hold on. Does that mean that every Archon has a piece of a person in their person?
Well, that much is true. After Focolar's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis to me. But I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Foul, ever since I was young. And I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information I possess, I got from him. It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense. Which is why there are so many problems in our attempts to communicate with humans. Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune to prevent any disasters from befalling you. To live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had with this world shall all turn to curses.
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my personal thoughts. And my reason for no longer wishing to return to the surface.
This third descender you refer to, who are they? And when did they die?
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't that important for me to know. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on to you next time.
Next time? You believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I? He can be the messenger then.
She's just lazy. And I grabbed a piece of my earbuds. I hate these things. There you are.
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not, I wanted to pass that information on to you.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the Gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How could they be a person's remains?
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play, that is what she meant to say.
A literal thing.
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui.
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary risk by keeping it here.
A descender? she mentioned one of them. I am the fourth descender. For me, this information means two things. One, that the Gnosis are related to descenders, and two, that the one who came before me has already died.
I guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect you to be one of them. That means that the Gnosis, which are exceedingly element compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities, do indeed come from the third descendant.
Which kind of explains why we're able to perform all elements and interact with the statues.
I wonder, does your body also possess similar properties?
Don't you dare dissect me, man.
Like being able to use elemental powers without a vision. That does sort of count as special compatibility, right? No, let's not think about this stuff right now. It just feels creepy.
It is.
Comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all.
Don't worry, I won't die so easily.
That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck. Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers out of him. Or go look for his master and get the answers that way.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking. The same is true of being at court.
Alright. Whatever the case, it seems like the crisis here in Fontaine's over for now.
Yes. All of Focolar's efforts were for this moment as well.
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a human. Was that really what she wanted?
But it had to be done.
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will.
Can you understand the will of the gods?
I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the earth as raindrops. Life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt one way or another, but the rain falls fairly upon all. And what, ultimately, is the difference between the rains that fall upon all of us?
And that is it, everybody. Well, everybody, that's literally going to say. I just want to say to you all, for those who actually watched this video and has gone through with it, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for considering watching this video and considering my channel. And it was greatly appreciated that you took the time to watch this video at least. You can skip a few things if you want. I don't care. As long as you watch it. And if you enjoyed the video, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you wish to support my channel and if you enjoy my content as well. Like, I put a lot of work into making a Genshin video. Even one of them had barely any views, maybe one, but it's more than enough for me. Like, should I continue doing Genshin videos? Should I do more Honkai Star Rail videos? I have no idea. Maybe I should stick with the horror games or any random horror games. But I truly do enjoy making videos that I like to do.
The Special Security and Surveillance Patrol isn't involved in regular patrol duty.
You asked for it!
Right. And I'm honestly just happy that you all have taken the time to watch the video and tune into my channel for more of it. Maybe I should consider streaming them next time instead of recording probably more than 3 hours, but that's just how I'm doing right now. Again, I'm going to end it here and say thank you all for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and want to support my channel just by doing what I just said. Like and subscribe. And any comments in the comment section down below if you have anything to say about anything about what's coming up next, what can I expect in the new update, and of course, any future advice of how I should do my Genshin videos. And I truly do appreciate you all. And as always, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the new video. Peace out, and have a great day.